Okay. Real quick, just an update. Lost my mom last night. One second. There we go. Okay. Got it out. She went into cardiac arrest last night around midnight, and they did everything they could, and that was her second episode in the 22 days that she was there. And got a phone call last night about 1 o'clock from my dad. So, thank you for all the prayers and thoughts. It is very touching, and the support is great. She's in a better place now. She's not suffering anymore from the battle. She fought her tail off. Super proud of her for that. Amazing woman. So I'm very blessed, very lucky, and she's with her mom and dad and her grandparents, who she was talking to the last couple of days. So I think kind of saw it coming. Was hoping not, but she's with the Lord, and that's she's not suffering. So I'm happy for that. So we can move on to football. Thank you again, though. So go ahead, let's go.
You watch Oregon State on film, which opponent from earlier this year did it remind you of?
Well, if you watch all the way back to the beginning, I mean, they had a little bit of struggle against Hawaii early on. They've gotten better. Coach Smith has done a great job, and with their team in general, you've seen a lot of improvement. And now they've got 3 games left to win 2 to get bowl eligible. And so, just like us, they're not bowl eligible yet, and they have a lot to play for. But you see great improvement along from the beginning of the season to where they're at now. And of the last few weeks, Washington and Utah played them the best. Okay, Cal played them really good, and they ended up beating Cal in the end. Against UCLA, they got rolling early and played really, really well. Same thing against the school down south. I mean, they're building something there, and they're doing a really good job. And personnel-wise, they're physical up front. Their O-line is big, and they're very physical. They've got 2 really good runners, almost a thunder and lightning duo. I mean, Pierce is really, really fast, and Jefferson, we witnessed it out here in Sun Devil Stadium last year. All our guys have been hearing all week is last year we gave up 261 rushing yards to them. So that's been the primary focus. We've got to be the aggressor and got to play in their backfield to have success. And that's the attitude and mantra they've been hearing all week long.
It seems like they like to kind of run the ball right at you. Some of the things that they do, is this a game plan like a UCLA or something like that that you could maybe see?
Yeah, ideally they're gonna try and pound the ball and see what they can have success moving the chains. The hard thing is if they get the ball, if they get the run game going, their play action stuff is dangerous. And I think they do a great job offensively complementing plays. They do a great job of setting things up, and they get kids. They'll run, if it works, they're gonna run it again, and they've got no problem doing it. And then they'll get you where your players are seeing things, and they'll have a play action pass off of an exact run. And the best part that they do is the old linemen and the tight ends. They make it look identical. So you have a really hard time with your keys if you're not concentrating, especially in coverage. They hit you with big plays. And I think every game they go into it, they try and establish their running game. And if they do establish that, you watch all the double moves they run with the max protect and get a Hodgins on the outside. I mean, I think they do a great job with how they set up their offense. And we've got to keep them from running the ball. If we keep them from running the ball, we can get them off schedule on down and distance, and then we can try and come after them a little bit on third down. They're one of the few teams that has a lot of tendency breakers. I mean, 3rd and 12 plus. There's a lot of zone power. I mean, they're smart with the football. They're willing to take their 3 downs. They don't want to put the ball in harm's way, and give turnovers up. So they've done a really good job with that, and we got a great challenge ahead of us. I mean, if you watch the weather, it looks like it's going to be a partly cloudy day. So 4:30 kickoff over there, 5:30 here. I mean, we should be excited to play. We have a lot to play for.
What's the status of Cam Phillips and Hearts?
Cam Phillips, he probably will not play this week. Willie Hart's is day to day. He did not practice yesterday. He was in the bubble early on so that we could do some rehab with him. He did practice today in a green jersey, kind of the protocol to get through it. He should be okay. Kobe has done a great job at Ranger. He will be okay. Kewan will get some additional reps. Some of you guys have seen Ashari practicing with the second group this week. I've got high standards both on and off the field, and I will not waver. So he's had a good week of practice. Kewan's had a good week of practice, so that's where we are with the secondary. If Kobe is inside, then it'll be Jack and Chase outside. The question mark there gets if something happens to one of those guys, then Kobe has to go outside, and Ashari and Kewan and Willie will take the inside, and then Tyler and Evan will stay at safety at the Tillman.
So have you made a decision about perhaps not starting Ashari because
Kewan will start. Yes.
is that Ashari didn't appear to play that well at the beginning of that game? Is that performance or is that more
Nothing to do with performance.
Just to switch gears, Danny, in recruiting, how hard is it to find an elite, a talented pass rusher?
So junior college elite talent pass rushers, really hard to find. Because the really, really good ones, they're gone early, and they're recruited by everybody in the country. Finding guys like a Tyler Johnson, they're out there. The problem is with the way recruiting goes now with the internet and everything, everybody in the country is recruiting them. 15 years ago, really even 10 years ago, it was a lot easier to find those guys, and nobody else would, unless they got into a recruiting service. Or coaches did a really good job in their area. You could hide guys. You could find guys that would be recruited by very few schools, and those guys were it was really easy to get an elite recruiter, pass rusher. Now with Huddle and all that stuff, it's more difficult, but they are out there, and you have to be able to project. And I think that's when you evaluate kids, that's really the big difference in a program like ours, getting to the next level, where we've got everything you need, and you don't quite have the tradition there yet. You have to be able to project kids, and then as you win, it's like everything else. You build it, they will come. You win, they'll come. And so with the pass rushers right now, we're trying to find guys that we can project to be really, really good. Guys like Amiri. I think Amiri's going to be really, really good. He's not really, really good yet, but he's shown signs, he's shown flashes in games at live speed. I mean, the one against UCLA I don't count because he didn't get blocked. But against Utah, who is the best team on our side, they were blocking him man-to-man, and they couldn't block him, and he got to the quarterback. Now, the very first time he gets to the quarterback, he hits the quarterback and bounces off. He'll get bigger, faster, and stronger, and he'll get him on the ground. So that's where we are right now with those guys. We're going to keep taking swings at all the big fish, and we're recruiting a couple right now that if we get them, it'll change significantly. We'll see. We'll see in December. We'll see.
I know at one point you were maybe just considering giving Stanley a shot. Look at that. Is that still?
He's still not healthy yet. So yeah. I mean, if he gets healthy, the thing is speed reps, and when you're not healthy, it's hard to tell. But yeah, he'd be a type just to fit that mold.
How would you evaluate where Stephon Wright is at?
I think Stephon Wright from now where he came at. So Stephon's big deal was he had shoulder surgery back in high school, okay, and then they did the rehab there at the high school. When they're doing rehab away from our facility, we don't really know what's going on, and depending on what kind of rehab facility they're at, whether it's a sports driven or not, can change that. And his wasn't really. We set him up with the best we can. Now we can't provide for him to go, but we can give them direction, and then it comes down to, are they able to do it? And so they did the best they could to get him to where he was. And when he got here, his shoulder just wasn't strong enough. And in that process, when you have someone that's big that's unable to work out, much like was our concern with DJ, they gained some weight. Well, we had DJ here, and so I was able to monitor DJ every day. I was able to walk DJ over to the pool and swim laps on lap swim day. I couldn't do that with Stefan. And so when he got here, he wasn't quite in shape. And it's taken him about 3 months to get into football shape and to get strength. And over the last 2 games, he's been really good. Played really, really well he played well against UCLA. They couldn't move him. And so we're really happy with where he's at development-wise right now. I think he's going to be a really, really good player. And so, and he has some quick twitch, and he's powerful enough that he'll get some pass rush stuff naturally. He fits the mold of what the Utah guys are playing with. And so that's exciting. But he came delayed, and now we got to get him game reps.
Chase, obviously going against top receivers each week. I mean, how do you feel? I know throughout the year when you were saying on the back tackle, he scored out a lot better. But just, I mean, coverage-wise, how do you feel that this part of the season is going?
He has been far, far improved from last year. At times, he's been really, really good. And until he gets his feel, like like Saturday, I thought early on he was trying to get his feel the very first drive. They get into a nasty formation, and they run kind of a sail route deep out. And he has good position early, but not sure if he's going to get run by. He kind of opens up his hips technique-wise a little bit too much, so he creates space on the outbreak, and they're able to complete that ball. Later on, they run 2 digs where he stays square in his pedal and breaks downhill, and he knocks the ball out. Some of that's a confidence issue, getting the feel for it. Really, I mean, Chase never and this is some of the ways that we're recruiting. Chase never played defensive back in high school, and I think it's when you recruit guys that play everything. Now, I don't want defensive backs that only play defensive back either. I want guys that are kick returners, punt returners, running back, wildcat quarterback, because they do so much more, and their instincts are so much better because of it. And Chase's instincts have improved. He's got good instincts. It's just now he's getting into where every week it's the same thing, so he's starting to get better in practice. And I think Coach White has done a really good job. Now we still need to be better on down and distance and knowing where we're at. When those guys are outside on the edge, we play a different technique where we read the quarterback, and you can read through 3-step, and when you're lined up at 9 yards from them, if you get a good feel on the quarterback, you can intercept a lot of balls downhill at the 3-yard junction point. We're about 70-30 on being good at that. And the 30 are giving us plays that we just need to continue to get better at. And but I think Chase is from last year to this year has improved dramatically. And the luxury of being able to have him and Kobe and Jack out there when they're on, we're really, really good. Now, he hasn't given up a lot of big plays. He's gotten beaten on some intermediate routes this year, which is a far improvement from last year. So that's positive.
And he went back to field boundary with the Rangers.
Yes.
USC. Do we see that continuing forward, and the reasoning for that? And Kobe as a Ranger, what have you thought about that combination?
I think Kobe's been really good in there. Kobe, and I can't say it enough. Kobe's a senior, and he's played a ton of ball. We had a group at San Diego State where we kind of came up with where we originated the field and boundary. When you have a guy that's really elite in space, it does significant improvement for you on defense. And maybe this was a coaching error. Cam and Ashari are very similar players, and they're very, very good in space. And you can give multiple looks when guys are doing different on each left and right as opposed to field and boundary. But as you go back, as I went back through all the self-scout stuff, Ashari was significantly better playing into the field last year than playing both sides this year. And a lot of our assignment mistakes were because of that. So I think he's more comfortable out there, which is a strange deal because he's more comfortable in bigger space. But he's dialed in a little bit better. And like the 95-yard touchdown, that doesn't matter if you're a boundary or a field ranger. That should never happen. And we play enough cover 2 around here that if you line up right, that ball should be intercepted. And if 15's in the game, it probably is. I was really disappointed with 16 on that same play because he kind of sat on a curl route when he shouldn't in cover 2. 3rd and 6 backed up, and we do a ton of different walkthroughs about field pitch position situation, and for them to screw that up is really, really disappointing. If they line up where they're supposed to line up and read the quarterback, when that ball was in the air, I was almost positive we were going to intercept it. And when he caught it and we ran into each other, it's like the bad news bears out there. I mean, there's no justification for it. You can't give up 95-yard touchdowns, and especially when you have, but when they should be in the perfect situation to make the play. Now, the quarterback made a good throw and the receiver caught it, and we break on it at bad angles. Leading back to that group at San Diego State, they were very similar their first 2 years to this group, and they made a ton of mistakes. I mean, we lose to a 1AA school because we give up 2 touchdown passes because we don't get lined up right. And, well, in that group, DeMonte Casey is now the starting free safety for the Atlanta Falcons. Malik Smith was with the Carolina Panthers. Cam Kelly is as a starting safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They weren't very good as freshmen and sophomores, but they were NFL guys, and one of them is an NFL player. NFL All-Pro with DeMonte, led the league in interceptions last year. So I think we have similar talented guys at that, and if you put them in the right position to be successful, 16 being in the field, he's probably going to be better. So we will continue that. You'll see a little bit of that configuration this week with some of the stuff that they do, and you'll see him or not. Kobe, he could play both sides. He's that smart. And down in the red zone, it's probably ideal to have Kobe inside just because he's 5'9". And that's kind of where they put theirs. We don't want him on Hodgins. Hodgins going to out-jump him, but that's just that's like Poindexter last year. He's a couple inches smaller than Poindexter from the anti-200. So we'll see some good matchups in there, and then see if Jack and Chase can make plays on the outside.
One more thing, how does Hodgins compare with Pittman?
Competitively, they are almost identical. You throw the ball up high, he goes and gets it. I think Mike Pittman's a little bit faster. They'll do the jet screens and stuff with Pittman because he's quick twitch like that. Hodgins is a little bit of a long strider. Now he is deceptively fast because he covers so much ground, but I don't think there's a difference competitively when the ball's up in the air. I think they both go get it equally, and he's one of the elite receivers in this league. Last year he caught the flea flicker on us that kind of got them started on offense, and he pulled his hamstring on the play, and so we didn't see him for 2.5 quarters. If you watch. You can go back and watch the Cal game this year. Cameron Bynum, who's a really good number 24 for Cal, is a really good corner. They had a pretty good duel that Hodgins probably got the better of at the end of the day. Now he didn't travel with them, but when they lined him up on his side, and that was the deal last week with Pittman and Tyler Vaughn. Mike Pittman was always on the right side, and Tyler Vaughn was always on the left. We did some stuff with our guys trying to give them the best chance to be successful, and at the end of the game, I asked Jack who we wanted to cover, and he wanted to cover 6. And 6 didn't catch another ball once we put him over there, so that was good. Now, 6 wasn't the one that killed us, Amon St. Brown, and then you give up a 58-yard pass on a wheel route when you've got it covered, and then you look at the quarterback. I mean, that's the first quarter of that game. The really disappointing that is alignment and assignment in key situations. The very first fourth down, okay, we've got a stunt call that's basically going to take up all 7. We're going to take up a body in every gap because it was 4th and 1, and if we can get them, our idea was if we make them, much like what we did with Utah, if we make the running back have to cut or the quarterback have to read the RPO in the backfield, we're going to get some tackle for losses. Well, instead of standing up on the edge, we get a 4 point for some reason inside the tight end, and we get reached, and then we get a hands to the face penalty. And our safety, instead of being over the tight end, when he comes down, he makes the tackle, probably going to be for a first down, but that ball should be widened so far just by alignment. Okay, so we allow them to keep the ball going on that. We keep the drive going on that, and then the third down in the hole. I thought it's where Cam got hurt, where he got his concussion. I thought he made a phenomenal play on the 4th down. On tape, the spot you can't tell, but then on the touchdown play, we read a key wrong based off of where the back is. The back was set near. We ought to be standing right next to the number 3. Instead, we chase the zone, which they don't run that play this way. So we make a little tiny mistake, and that mistake is the difference between being about 18 inches away from making a play. Well, 18 inches is what's losing games. And so those are the things that we're continuing to work on. Repetition, doing it right in practice. The 95-yard touchdown, we had a drill in practice. I don't know if anybody watched Coach Edwards being mic'd up last week. He's mic'd up, and we're doing a cover 2 drill. And he tells Willie, no, attention to detail, man. He started the drill over 3 yards from the hash. Willie's lined up out by the numbers. We stopped the drill and redid it. And in the game, he lines up like the way we stopped the drill. So we've got to continue to keep repping that. I mean, it's stuff that we're doing in practice. We've got to now start to translate it into the game. And the underneath stuff, I mean, he started, Slope started 11 for 11, okay? 4 of them, we got really good pressure, and he made a good throw. The very second play of the game, I thought Kobe was going to intercept it for a pick 6. And Tyler Vaughn ends up making a grab from him. We got 2 balls. I mean, he gets a great break, decent pressure. The ball's thrown out there. Now it's only a 4-yard gain. And because he got a great break, the alignment and assignment on those 2 plays later, and then the spot on the 4th down. As you go on and watch the pick 6 at the end, if you watch I guess you can see the referee's point of view from the sideline tape, from the end zone tape. I disagree. And that's the view from back there. I mean, Kalen does a great job. He slides over. Now, if you look up the holding definition in the NCAA rulebook, and I won't even go to the code 1361, but regardless, because I looked it up, the word grasp is in there. There was never a grasp. But those guys are calling stuff full speed, and the receiver falls down. And so, but that was a really good play by Kalen Thomas. And it's too bad that it went the other way. We can't start slow. And so we've done some different things in practice this week to try and remedy that. We've done some different things in meetings to try and remedy that. Last year it was coming out of halftime. Third quarter was terrible. Well, this year, for us on defense, it's been the last 2 weeks. Utah was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. UCLA was 14, and then Saturday was 28. And I don't know. I mean, shoot, 28 points, 315 yards, and in a quarter, that's unheard of. When they get 238 and 3 points to the rest, and so the 238 they got, that was about 78 yards a quarter. The rest of the game, you're looking at about 300 yards. I mean, that's not unfeasible. But when you make mistakes, that's the stuff that's killing us right now. So you got to coach them better and get them to execute. And if they execute, it's a completely different outcome. But that's not where we're at yet.